Hi everybody. Everyone who studies foreign languages faces a common question. How to organize work with a lot of information like words, texts and materials that we need to review and repeat sometimes. In this video I will share how I use Google and Excel to help with this problem. And the main idea of the English 89 course is that we work with texts, words and grammar. We focus more on things that are harder to remember, and we practice this more often. In this video I will show you how to work with the texts and words from the course and how to organize this process effectively. And I adapt the course materials for company staff and also for business communication professionals. I develop mathematical and statistical methods for learning English. We write texts on the topics of the course, find grammatical mistakes in them, and work on these mistakes. We correct them and practice using the correct sentences until it becomes automatic. We also work with words and tables, finding words that are difficult to remember. We practice these words more often, gradually increasing the time between repetitions to train our memory. We practice the same method with the grammar of the course. Today I will show you how we learn English and Chinese using a table method. I invented this method a long time ago and have been developing it for more than 10 years. I love learning languages and I produce materials for learning English. I am learning Chinese at this moment of my life. So on the text tab of our table, we add texts by themes here. And in column A, we add the topic, and in column B, we place the text that you wrote. This is just an example of the text, and you can add many texts according to topics of English 89 course. In column C, we put the corrected text, which has been checked by an artificial intelligence application or teacher without any mistakes. We will learn this text in the future. In the column D, we list mistakes found by the artificial intelligence application or teacher. This way we can clearly see the original text here, and also we can see revised texts and mistakes. We need to write text for all topics of the course and review them regularly. So on the words list we have words from the course English 89, words that you find and don't know. We add words from videos of our course from the course vocabulary itself. By the way, it is very easy how we can find dates of repetition. It's not very necessary, but you can filter any date if you want to have dates of repetitions. On the list 3500 tab there is a list of words from the English course 89. These words have been selected using mathematical and statistical methods. They are often used in everyday communication, and our task is to find the most difficult words for us from this list, to identify them and to learn them. I will show you how we can do it. So, in the left column, I write the translation of words in white text. This way, I will not look at them and accidentally see the meaning in my first language. In the right column, I write the pronunciation of the words. This helps me remember how to say them. So the first step is to decide how many words we will learn each day. For example, we can choose 50 words to study. This means we look at 50 new words and find the ones that are difficult for us, especially ones we do not understand or cannot pronounce well. These can be words we do not know or have seen the first time. We will check the first 50 words in our vocabulary table. If we find words that we don't know or do not understand, like their meanings or how to say them, we will mark these words in red. In this step, we will practice pronunciation, the words that are marked in red. Here is how we can practice with these words. We practice pronunciation. First, we will listen to the correct pronunciation of the word in the dictionary. You can do this using online resources or apps. Then, we try to say the word out loud, repeating after the speaker to improve our pronunciation. Learning the meanings of the words. Next, we look at the main meanings of the word. We can use online dictionaries or artificial intelligence applications. These sources will give us detailed information about the meanings. It is also helpful to use and see examples of how the word is used in sentences so we can understand better how it works. Third step. In this step, we focus on checking and reviewing the words we have learned. It is important to decide individually how often you should check if you remember the word and repeat it. This is personal and depends on your preferences and learning style. I will not give general recommendations, as it is best to test and find the best review intervals for you. Well-known German psychologist Ebbinghaus studied memory and forgetting. He developed the forgetting curve theory and suggested timing for reviewing information to help with memorization. I started to use these intervals for reviewing words. Step 4. To enhance your memorization efficiency, I strongly recommend that you take one or more short review sessions of the words for about 15 to 20 minutes. This will help you focus and learn the material more quickly. Marking words you have memorized. All the words you have successfully memorized should be highlighted in yellow. Yellow indicates that the word is familiar and clear to you. You have already worked with this word, know how to pronounce it, and have seen examples of its use in different contexts. In short, you feel confident about your knowledge of that word. Marking words you haven't memorized. If there is a word you haven't memorized, highlight it in red. This signals that you need to pay more attention to this word and review it again. The red color indicates words that require extra practice and memorization. Try not to overload yourself with long study sessions. Regular repetition and visual marking will help you organize your learning process better and focus on the words that are difficult for you. With the color marking system, you can see your progress each day and week clearly. Use these color codes regularly, and you will be able to observe your learning progress. Step 5, Day 2. On the second day of our training, we will review the words from yesterday again. All the words you have memorized should be marked in green. This means you have a good grasp of these words and you don't need to practice them often. Key points of this step. Marking problematic words. For any words that you didn't memorize well or that raise questions during your review, keep them marked in red. If a word is yellow and you still have doubts about it, change its color to red. This will signal to you that you need to pay more attention to those words. Using an electronic dictionary. For the words that need more practice, use an electronic dictionary or artificial intelligence applications. Find one or two example sentences that help you better understand and remember each problematic word. You don't need a lot of examples, just simple and clear sentences. Adding new examples to your list will signal both you and your teacher that more attention should be given to this word in the future. It might be useful to include more examples and analyze them in more detail. In general, try to pay attention to how your words evolve during the learning process. All these steps will help you organize your practice better and achieve more success in learning the language. Step 6, Day 2. We continue checking words. We will look at the next 50 words from our list. As before, we will highlight the words that are difficult for us, both in understanding their meanings and in pronunciation. How to mark words. Problematic words. If you don't understand the word's meaning or have questions about how to use it, highlight it in red. This will help you see what you need to work on, indicating difficulties. If you have questions about the meaning of a word, add the letter M. I use this letter. This is the first letter from the word meaning. This will remind you to pay attention to the meaning of this word. If you have problems with pronunciation, add the letter P. This will help you remember to practice saying this word. To study more effectively, spend time on each word, think about its meaning, write down some examples, sentences, and say it out loud. This way, you will remember these words better. Mark words that you don't know using red color. Step 7, Day 2. We do an extra repetition and repeat the words right away or in 15 to 20 minutes. Here I show how we check words and meanings. Step 8, Day 3. At this stage we will repeat the words that were marked in red, those that we find difficult to remember. For example, if I struggle to recall a word, it means I haven't learned it well. Too bad to remember such a word, I add a few more examples to the table and work on them. I say sentences with this word out loud and think about how I will use it in real life. It's important to pay attention to pronunciation. When there are many examples next to a word in the table, it indicates that the word is hard to remember. In these cases, we need to repeat it more often, reducing the time between repetitions to help reinforce the memory. The amount of examples show us how difficult a word for us, how much time we need to devote to the learning of this word. Step 9. Individual definition of the checking intervals for green words. At this stage, we will individually say the intervals for checking the words marked in green. These intervals, like in previous steps, are established considering the personal characteristics of each learner. I suggest having check-in days 3 times a month. For example, on the 10th, 20th and 30th. On these days, we go through the list and check the green words. These are the words that have been successfully memorized. If any of the words are not remembered, we change them back to red. At the same time, we add new examples of how to use the word. Then the word goes through the same cycle. First, we mark it yellow, and then, after successful checking, we mark it green again. The checking intervals for words marked in green should also be determined individually. This could be twice a week or twice a month, depending on how well a person remembers. In some cases, repeating less often might also work. It is necessary to remember that effective memorization of words is a process that requires patience and regular practice. So it is good to pay attention to your progress and adjust your approach if needed. If on the check-in day you remember word well, you can mark it dark green. In this case, you can stop special practice with this word. Over time, as you learn foreign language, dark green words will be remembered easily because of regular practice, and you won't need to work on them anymore. The main task is to identify the words marked in red that are difficult to remember or are often forgotten. You need to work more with these words because they can make it hard to understand what others are saying or to form complete sentences due to forgetfulness. Keeping your own vocabulary in a table allows us to use specific filters and indicators of progress. We can see how many words we learn per week or month. The main goal is not to memorize all the words on the list, but to use it to identify the words that are hardest for us. This method works well with any vocabulary learning application. We had examples of sentences for the most difficult words that we found. We can also apply this method for learning grammar, organizing useful links, and other materials. The method is best suited for business people who are familiar with table work methods and who can handle large volumes of information well. Summary of the video. This video is about helpful method for business people, but it is also suitable for others. Many people use tables to work with information. So first you need to find the words and the grammar that are difficult for you. With the course materials you will receive lists of words, most commonly used words, and the most difficult of them, which I have identified statistically. There should be a balance between the number of words learned and the number of new words, specifically those highlighted in green and those highlighted in red. You shouldn't take too many words and highlight them in red. The proportion should be maintained between learned words and new ones. And at the end of this video you can see the first 10 days of classes and observe how many words are marked in green, yellow and red during the process. This shows how many new words are taken and approximately how many words that have already been learned are remembered. I invite companies to work together to train your staff, specifically for managers and staff training. I invite shops and training companies to collaborate with me for the sale of the course in printed format as well as for the sale of the course book and course materials. I am interested in cooperation with educational institutions around the world. I have real cases and vast experience that I can share if needed or upon request. If you want to see what the table looks like after 10 days of practice, be sure to watch this video until the end. I wish you productive learning, have a great day and see you next time. Postscript: if you watched the video to the end, then you have good patience, congratulations.